We watched Supergirl.
Super? I hardly know.
Okay, so today we're talking about Supergirl, new movie 2026, director Craig Gillespie, one of the two, and a screenwriter of Anna Nagera. Now, this is based off a comic run from 2021 through 2022. I believe it was an 8-issue run by Tom King. And it had a pretty big budget, $170 million. And unfortunately, it had a pretty low, pretty low box office run so far, only making $38 million in its opening week. And just some reference for that, Morbius made 39 million. So it's not looking too good for the performance so far. It made after like up to the point of this recording, it has made 46.5 million domestic and 74.7 million worldwide. Um, well, the predecessor to this one, Superman from 2025, made $125 million its opening week. So that's just domestic.
And this is the second movie in the James Gunn DC
DCU.
universe.
Yes.
So we're starting out strong.
Starting out strong. Superman performed really
was
well.
good. It performed well. It's a good ass movie.
People really enjoyed it, me being one of them.
No, it's a good movie. And then Supergirl, second movie. They can't all be heaters, I guess.
This one, a little bit worse. You know, we have a lead role of Molly Alcock, and she does pretty good, I'd say. I'd honestly say she's a highlight of the movie for sure.
Yeah, no, the acting, I don't think any of the acting's really bad. I know child actors get a lot of flack. It was good.
Yeah,
I didn't mind any of the acting in this movie.
Yeah, Eve Ridley, who plays Ruthie Knoll, the child actor, I think she performs really well. I don't know if I like the character itself. I think that's more where my problem lies with a lot of the acting of the movie. I don't really have a problem with any of it. I'm not a huge Jason Momoa fan in this movie specifically.
Yeah.
He's very like joking around and whatnot. And I've been told, I'm not a huge comic book guy. I've never read any Supergirl comics or really any comics, but I've been told by one of our friends who is a comic book guy that he fits Lobo's character very well. Which, if that's the case, like all you know, all the props to him. He seems to really like the role. I think he said in multiple interviews that he feels like, you know, he was like born to play this role. Like he really likes the character and everything like that. And I do think it shows that he feels like himself in the movie. Like he doesn't really skip a beat as far as like how his character is supposed to be. It just, I think tonally, it kind of is iffy on some parts just because he you know, he's just joking around. Like,
I definitely, I want to get more into Lobo later on.
Of course.
Because that is like definitely a part of critique
Yeah.
for me. But I do think like it's interesting to see Jason Momoa, who really does seemingly want to be in a DC universe thing. Aquaman, he seemed to really enjoy doing Aquaman.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how many years that lasted because he was across multiple movies there, but yeah, no, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna bring that up. I do kind of like him better as Aquaman. I know a lot of people don't like him as Aquaman. A lot of people actually hate him. Like they think he's a terrible Aquaman. And to me, I mean, I don't really see it. Like I kind of like the more serious tone of it. But definitely interesting addition. And I don't dislike him as an actor. I think he's great in most of the things I've seen him in. It just in this movie, it seemed a little off for me. But other notable characters, you know, Matthias Schoenaerts is Creme of the Yellow Hills. It's the main villain. I think he performed pretty all right for the character that he was assigned. I'm not really sure what else he's done. I don't really know what else to say about it. And I think it was fine, like for what he was given. But
fine is definitely probably the best way to put it.
The best adjective for that.
As somebody that does read comics, they'll put out like the annual edition of Spider-Man, and it's like in continuity, but it's like enough where like if you only read the annual Spider-Man, you'd have a good story start to finish, and like whatever. It doesn't. This really does kind of feel like I don't want to say rushed, but it kind of feels like an annual where it's like we're just gonna throw this character in here, and it's kind of just like a character that we're putting in here. It
Yes.
doesn't really feel like any of these characters carry much weight, which I'm obviously not a fan of. It
Yeah.
really
Yep.
does feel like they kind of shoehorned in a lot of these characters just to tell the story, which
Mhm.
is fine. I think the story's okay, but it does feel like a lot less weight than, say, like, I hate to keep comparing it, but the Superman movie that just
Superman
came out.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very interesting because this comic is very recent. I mean, only a couple years ago now, but it is very beloved.
Okay.
Like, I was talking, with our friend Pierce, friend of the
Mhm.
show, and he was saying like he was talking going on and on after we watched the movie about how much he loves the comic, and then I did some more digging into it, and it's apparently very well written in the comic, and it has like these amazing visuals of like this space adventure, without getting into the story too much for now. But yeah, no, it is very beloved for how recent it is. And I think that's why this movie kind of was hyped up until I believe when the trailer came out is when some people started to dislike the notion of it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for being so recent, it is very very well loved comic. However, the movie not so much. I'll go through the scores here quick, but the IMDb average score was a 6.1 out of 10. The Rotten Tomato score was a 55%. Letterboxd was a 3.1 out of 5. So everyone seems to be very, this is an
It's okay.
average movie, very middle of the road
Yeah,
kind of scores here, but
for sure. I think it is kind of, you know, I hate to use the term, but it's kind of a nothing burger movie. Um,
agree.
I also think it's gotten a lot of flack, not to get like political about it, but I
Hmm.
do think that there is inherently people who are like, "Oh, that Superman movie's badass."
Yeah,
Supergirl.
super great. I was finding out some articles about that. I don't have any of them saved, unfortunately. I didn't save any of the articles that I was looking at, which probably not the best move. But I was looking at it. There's quite a few like jumping to the defense, saying like everybody's saying this movie sucks. It's an okay to good movie. It's just like there's a lot of like inherent misogyny to it. And I don't know if I'm like the right person to be speaking on that, being a man. But I mean, I can see it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it makes sense from like the perspective, like the outsider perspective of it, that like, yeah, Superman is so good, and then like this Supergirl movie,
Yeah.
oh man. Um, and that actually that leads to a good point. I feel like they kind of, and by they I mean James Gunn, probably slated this movie in a pretty bad spot in the whole like DCU timeline of movies that he wants to put out. You just came out with your like obvious, Superman is like the
Yeah.
superhero that you're using to back like the whole DCU. He's like, your Iron Man, I guess, if you
Right.
want to compare it to MCU. So that's like your big movie. I don't remember what the budget is, but I'm sure it was higher. Just based on like everything that happens in that movie. It's a pretty long movie.
For sure.
And a lot of like bigger names in that one, I think. But it performs very well. It's a huge success. There's a lot of stuff happening in the movie. A lot more advertising, I feel, for
Yeah.
that movie than this movie for sure.
I barely knew Supergirl was coming out until it was out, and it was
Yep.
like, "Let's go see Supergirl," and I'm
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
"Damn,
what?
okay."
That's already out? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they did a bad job advertising it. They had like they maybe had multiple trailers and I just never saw any throughout, my normal life, but only one that I saw. And besides like I guess there was the post credit scene in Superman
Mhm.
that kind of like hints at it. She shows up with crypto there and everything.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, yeah, no, not much advertising for the movie, and I think that also was like a little bit of a shot in the foot to the movie. It's
Yeah.
it's almost like it was maybe not intentionally, but like kind of set up to fail because this one's also not directed by James Gunn. I feel like there should have been a different movie slotted in here. Maybe like I'm not necessarily a Batman, but like another of like the main cast. Like your main Justice League members and
Yeah.
whatnot.
No,
and
for
then
sure.
you slot in this one after people get like used to the universe that we're living in.
Yeah. The universe isn't built yet. Like we still haven't gotten a Batman movie. And I get that they're probably holding off on Batman considering like The Dark Knight is a super recent, super beloved Batman
Yep.
trilogy. The Batman, Robert
Of
Pattinson,
course.
super like fantastic movie. Whereas Superman hasn't gotten a good movie. I know it's
In
kind
a
of a
while.
hot take, but in my opinion, since Man of Steel.
Well, to
Um,
be frank with you, a lot of like DC fans don't like Man of Steel
that's
either.
what I'm
So
saying.
even
I
before
know.
that
The
is
hot take is that I like
oh that
Man
you
of
like Man of
Steel.
Steel. Okay.
Debatably, it's been longer since we've
Yes.
had a good Superman movie.
Yes.
So I get that they want to push that, but the Green Lantern show hasn't come out yet.
Hmm.
Like you're saying, the rest of the Justice League hasn't been built at all currently in this new universe. We got Superman, we get Supergirl, and I believe the next release in the calendar is Clayface. Why are we sandwiching Supergirl between
Between
Superman and
Superman and
Clayface
Clayface
when nobody else in the Justice League has
is
been
out. Yeah.
put
Yeah.
out? Like it's a crazy release timing.
I do have in my notes here that the screenwriter of this movie is now set to work on I don't know if it's a movie or show, the Wonder Woman whatever
Okay.
show or movie that's going to come out, and then also a Teen Titans show. Wonder Woman is obviously like a more famous
Right.
female hero. That it also I think is going to hurt if that's one of the next ones to come out, and then you have Supergirl sandwiched between Superman and Wonder Woman. That's just
Yeah.
gonna feel really bad.
Yeah.
So
In my opinion, I don't think the movie really has any irredeemable factors. I don't think it's good. I
mm,
gave it a 2 out of 5.
I might need to rewatch it and reevaluate after that. Because I did go. The difference between us is I went with a group of four,
Mm-hmm.
so I did have that like I want to say like a group bias, like afterwards when out in the parking lot talking about the movie. You know how it is.
For sure.
I gave it a 6.
Okay.
Gave it a 6 out of 10, so 3 out of 5. Kind of like you said. I mean, there's nothing terrible about it. There's not a whole lot of good about it either. It's a very nothing burger movie.
Yeah.
Like it's an action superhero movie.
I do wonder if like the fact that Supergirl is not a beloved hero in the same way that a Superman, a Batman, and Wonder Woman is.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why they took it safer. Is that they're
Yeah.
like, let's get more people in on the character by making a very safe movie. But at the same time, like, when has a safe movie ever really made a good movie?
Yeah.
So, I I don't think it was the right play, obviously.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Well, you ready to get into the spoilers?
Oh, I am ready to get into the fucking spoilers.
Spoiler section now. So we got a lot to talk about here. So one of my big hatreds, not hatreds, but dislikes of the movie. I think we hit it a little bit earlier, but Lobo is not in the story of the comic at all. He's
He's
not
not
included at
really.
all. This is what I was talking to Pierce about because when I was telling him that Jason Momoa felt off, he was telling me he's like, oh yeah, Lobo's not supposed to be in the story. Like he's not in the comic book at all, as far as I'm
That's
aware.
crazy.
Yeah, so he's literally just shoehorned in for like a comic relief character because it's a superhero movie and every superhero movie needs a comic relief character, I guess.
And that's interesting to me as well, because Lobo is, when they introduce him, they're my biggest complaints about Lobo is that they introduce him as like this kind of morally gray, like, what do they say? He's an immortal with a god complex, I think
Yep,
is the line
yep,
to
that's the
introduce
line.
him. They introduce him as like this morally gray bounty hunter who's not afraid to do whatever it takes to get whatever. But he doesn't do anything bad the entire movie. Like the entire movie, he's kind of just like a good guy the entire time.
I'll raise that even more. He doesn't really do anything in the movie. To be honest with you, he shows up at the bar, or he's out already at the bar. He's in the dark corner or
Yeah.
whatever. Classic like bounty hunter, like
Right.
outlaw kind of situation, like for a setup there. And you hear Kara go, "Oh, that's Lobo." Like she already knows
Right.
who he is right off rip, but we don't really get why. Like, he's obviously, they can do the backstory. He's everybody in the universe knows who Lobo
Right.
is because he killed all of his planet, all of his population. because I believe the backstory reason for that is only his like race can kill each other. Like he can
Okay.
only get killed by other people of his race, so he just killed everybody. So that's why he's immortal.
Okay.
Is I believe that's the backstory to it. But then like there's no interaction between Supergirl and Lobo that would lead you to believe that they would know each other at all, and he definitely doesn't know her.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
she shows up and she's like doing like the dumb Valley Girl thing. Oh, we're from Earth and
oh,
and
we're
he's
just taking
like,
a trip.
get out
Yeah.
of my way.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't
like he
care at
clearly
all.
has no idea who she is, which is weird because you would think that she might be a little bit more popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
As
don't
one
know.
of the two Kryptonians left,
Right.
supposedly at this point in the storyline. Um, and it's very confusing to me because she seems like they've run into each other before
Right.
when she says oh, that's Lobo, let's not talk
Right.
to him. It's like, oh, they've had so many interactions. They obviously are not on like good terms with each other. So let's just avoid him. And then like there's nothing there. But she almost has like a one-sided like antagonistic view towards
Right.
him because in the fight outside of the bar, he gets like clotheslined off his motorcycle, I think, and then she goes like, "That looked like it hurt."
Yeah, like
And it's like, where did
no,
that come
it's a
from?
fully like a
it's
one-sided rivalry. She hates
makes
him and
no
he doesn't know
sense.
who she is.
And then they never interact for like the rest of the movie after that
No,
part.
that's not true. They have the most morally gray thing Lobo does in the entire movie is he leaves and says, "See ya, tits."
You're right. You're right.
That's
That's my bad. He does call her tits, which is so funny.
it's like I can't believe they like put that in the movie. I don't.
Yeah. Apparently, it fits the character well,
It's his last line. The last
but
thing
it's the
Jason
last
Momoa
line
says in the movie is
Jason
"See ya,
Momoa says.
tits."
And it does feel about as weird as it sounds in the movie. Yeah, it's just a weird character to shoehorn in there. I'm glad that he's getting some representation. I think before this, his only video representation besides like any kind of animated series that I haven't watched was Injustice 1. He's a side character or a DLC character in
Okay.
Injustice 1. Which is how I knew he existed.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know if there's much. So it's nice that he's getting something.
For sure.
Cool that characters are getting, Clayface is getting his own movie. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that villain too. But it's just strange. It doesn't tonally fit the movie. This was a big thing for me, is the movie's whole tone feels off because I think the story in the comic is very much supposed to be like kind of a sadder, like, man, this is a character going through like some crazy big grief and she doesn't know how to deal with that. So she's
Yeah.
obviously, she goes on like these drinking runs and whatnot where she's just trying to like suppress that as much as possible. And she meets this young girl who's going through another tragic thing and they kind of work through it together because she needed someone to like get her there.
Yeah.
Which is a nice sentiment. It's nice. Like it could be a very nice movie if taken, I think, seriously. But then about halfway through, maybe it's at the bar fight scene is where I notice it. After the bar fight, everything in the movie just shifts to like this is now an action. There's some serious moments as it goes on after that, but not much. And like the comedy feels like it just goes up, mainly because Jason Momoa, his little parts in there, and then like the young girl as well, Ruth.
There's a scene where again, this is like them playing it safe like usual. Like the
Mhm.
biggest complaint about the movie is that they just play it safe the entire time. Is they're going to like whatever planet and to hunt down the guys that shot her dog or whatever.
Yep. Oh gosh, yeah, that reminds me of something.
And they're getting ready to go, and she's like, "Well, we're gonna need to get you a suit." So they put this suit on her.
The
It's a
bubble suit.
necklet thing, and she's like, "Don't freak out." Press the button, and she's in a pink bubble.
Yep.
And she goes, "I'm not gonna freak out." And then Supergirl says, "Are you sure you're not gonna freak out?" And Ruthie goes, "I'm not freaking out." And Supergirl goes, "Seems like you're freaking out." And then Ruthie falls over, and she goes, "Okay, I'm freaking out." Your dog is dying in like 36
Yes.
hours, by the way.
Yes,
Like
yes.
it's done. The whole reason you're like
Oh
putting
my
your
gosh.
life at stake is to save your dog that you have like a little over a day to save. And you're like,
messing around.
don't freak out.
Don't freak
Like,
out.
it's so-
oh, it's
like,
just,
yeah, no, tonally it's just ridiculous.
it feels very strange. And then you go through these crazy. There's a lot of like either off-screen fighting or very fast action where it's like the camera spins in a circle as Supergirl's just like killing everybody.
Yeah.
Or in the bar fight scene, like half of it or more is off screen because you just get to see. I got to make sure it's actually Ruth who I'm thinking of. Yeah, Ruthie, I think is
Yeah.
actually how you pronounce it. But Ruthie's like sitting there in the foreground and she's like huddled up against his corner because she's like freaking out that Supergirl's like literally just like killing people.
Yeah.
And it's all happening in the background, and it feels like I don't know. It's just there's so much of it, like so much of these fight scenes, and then you're supposed to be like, oh, she's sad that her dog's gonna die, or like, oh, she misses all of her family, and it's like, dude, you like basically ripped someone's spine out like half a second ago, and then Jason Momoa just said, "See you tits," it's
Right. I do like the bar scene. I just
yeah,
wish that it wasn't all like most of the action in this movie feels like it's I for real think they were just saving on budget. Really
yeah,
is what it comes down to is that they're like we're going to put the whole thing off screen and we're going to do a couple little effects and then they have the big fight where like Lobo's there, he's hunting his guy whereas
mhm.
they're trying to save all of the girls who are getting trafficked or whatever.
Yes, yes,
And that's like a fine scene, but it's like almost entirely one-on-one fighting.
yeah,
You have the scene which, oh my god, they play Jimmy Eats World.
yes, yes, at the
They
end,
they play like
yep,
a sad, slow version of Jimmy Eats
yeah,
World
it's a
while she's
weird
like
cover.
blowing up all these big ass trucks and stuff. But like same thing where all that we really see is Ruthie's like dodging
Weird
out of the way of this
perspective.
guy and then she grabs him. Like
Dude,
most of what's
boom,
happening is
chokeslammed
off
him.
screen. She's like fighting everybody. And then you'll see a tire roll by. And that's how
Yep.
you know she's going crazy over there. But they won't show any of it.
Yes, yes. I will say, for the benefit of, I don't want to just dog the movie the whole time. I do like how I kind of was dogging on it a little bit ago with like how much it switches the tone of it a little bit, but the amount of like I don't want to say like violence of it, but like she hits combos. Like she's
Yeah.
hitting combos on these guys, even if it's in the background or whatnot. Where if you watch like Superman, for example, it's usually like a punch, a
Yeah.
laser shot, whatever, and that's like it. Maybe like a slam into a wall. But she on like at the end in that circular scene with everyone in the cars and whatnot, she's like ripping people out of the cars and like triple swinging them, like slamming them on the ground, even if it's like very quick in the background or like even in the foreground, just like very quick as it goes by. It is kind of fun to see
Yeah.
like a Kryptonian like just go all out on some people.
That's the end where she fights Krem.
Yes.
And she has that thing where she's like flying along and just kind of like dragging him around, just doing whatever.
Boom,
She's
boom,
flipping him,
boom.
slamming.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool scene. It was done
Yes.
well. It looks good.
Yes. We
Um,
just needed more of that.
exactly. More scenes like that. Like they didn't even. They painted these big picture fights, and then they only focused on like this much of them. When really,
Yes.
like some of the best parts of that movie are the smaller fights where you really get to
You
see her
actually
do.
can see what's happening.
Yeah, at the beginning
Yes.
when she goes to get Ruthie's sword back. I'm not gonna
Yep.
act like that's the best fight ever, but it's like it does its job
It's pretty solid.
as opposed to like we're gonna have this big giant climactic fight and it's all gonna happen off screen. I'd much
Yeah,
rather prefer
and she
the
just
smaller scale
burns
ones.
through everyone instantly
Yeah.
anyway. That's actually another point to bring out, is that the main villain and the whole, like, antagonistic crew is just a bunch of nobodies. Like, as far as if we're doing, like, power scaling here, which, like, everybody hates power scaling, but, once she gets to the point at the end where she gets all of her powers back. The yellow sun is there. She's like really ready to like, kick some ass. You get to the end and all these villains are just regular ass dudes.
Yeah.
Even Krem, like everybody is just a normal dude. And so she just goes through everybody like instantly. And then you have to think, oh, why didn't she do that the whole movie? And that's because she's just like inherently nerfed because they weren't by a yellow sun, I guess, which I've heard that it's better in the comic how they go through that process, but in the movie, it just kind of feels like a cheap way to not have Supergirl killing everybody all the time.
Right.
And then that actually leads me to another point that I disliked was even when she has her powers, and maybe it's because they're not fully charged or whatnot. I don't know what the actual explanation is, but there was no frost breath at all. There were some lasers, a lot towards the end, but not much before that.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, she's basically just flying and the super strength.
Yeah.
And she has X-ray vision, but only once. She only uses it once, even though there are multiple times in the movie where she'll like fly up and be looking for something or
Yeah.
someone, and she just has to use her regular eyes to look around for
Yeah.
it, and instead of like the X-ray, the super hearing, anything.
Yeah.
And it just felt very weird, almost like she didn't know her powers or something like that, which I don't think that was the intention. It definitely didn't seem that way. It just seems that that was like a nerf to the character.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say I am always like torn when it comes to powers like that, because obviously, like you're saying, it's ridiculous that she doesn't use any of the powers that we know she has in situations where she could use them. Um, However, there are certain times where I could understand that, like, oh, I'm looking for this villain. Let me use my superhero. It can feel like Saturday morning cartoonish,
yes,
but that's something that you have to write around when you're making a superhero movie. And they
exactly.
just didn't. They didn't like interact with the powers at all. Like you said, it was just very hands off. So,
Hmm. And that brings me to another point. Um, well, this is more relating to the source material, and so this movie is based off of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. However, they had like a lot of differences that they just kind of switched out parts for.
mm.
For example, that book, I don't exactly remember the timeline of it, but it's supposed to take place over like multiple weeks.
Okay.
Like her dog gets poisoned, Crypto, and then there's multiple weeks that she has until it's like 3 weeks until she has
Okay.
to get the poison. But in that book, a fair amount, I don't know the exact percentage or anything like that, of the series, she doesn't have any powers. And that's why do you remember, if you remember the scene where they're on that space bus?
Mhm.
That is where a lot of the series takes place from what I'm aware of.
Okay.
Is like on this bus where they're, stopping at these certain planets or moons or whatever, and then they keep going and keep going. And there's some crazy stuff that happens on that bus in the comic. For one, there's a space dragon that comes and attacks them, and she doesn't have any powers to fight it off. So I believe she gets red kryptonite from one of the passengers who just happens to have it.
Right. As you
And
should.
so from the diving that I did, from what I could find, apparently in the comics, when a Kryptonian takes red kryptonite, they basically just go uh, like Super Saiyan, but like to a weird level. It's like hallucinogenic, kind of crazy. She turns into
Okay.
a big phoenix and fights the dragon as a big phoenix,
Hmm.
and then just returns to normal, I guess. And
Yeah.
then they just keep going on the bus. But yeah, that was obviously completely cut out of the movie.
Right.
Nothing even close to that. Instead, I think they replace it with a scene where the bus gets attacked by pirates or something
Yeah.
like that, I
Yep.
believe. Which the red kryptonite kind of reminded me of something where I think it's very funny that the movie doesn't even try to explain anything about like Crypto gets hit with his dart right at, like near the start,
Mhm.
poisons him completely. He's just like over, like he's completely incapacitated and everything. And I guess like they didn't have more for Kara or anyone else, as far as I remember. Unless she might have gotten hit with one and it just doesn't affect her, I guess.
Well, but then she got it. Well, she drank it, I guess, later in the movie. But
Yeah.
um,
Yep. And then he ends up having, for whatever reason, kryptonite bolts for a crossbow at the end that he
right.
just like knew. Even though there's only two Kryptonians left, he just knew to bring the kryptonite bolts, I guess.
I will say, in a universe where Superman exists and I'm a space pirate, I'm probably keeping a couple in my boot at all
I
times.
get that, but Superman is primarily, as far as we know, he's only an Earth protector right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
unless you're just supposed to infer otherwise. But it is funny that like the little narration of it is like he shoots her with the bolts and he goes, I didn't know at first, but like this was my guess that these would work on you,
Something like.
or something like that, because I guess he didn't know she was a
Yeah.
Kryptonian. I think as far as I know, in the series, they basically have no interaction, Krem and Kara, like at all.
Okay.
where they don't have a ton in this movie, but they definitely have, you know, some moments where they see each other.
Mhm.
And they don't obviously fight until the end, really, but they do encounter each other multiple times in the middle there, and I don't think that is in the series at all. Yeah, no, they definitely have a couple run-ins in this movie, uh, which just makes it feel weird because Krem again is such like a nothing villain. Like he's the whole movie is just he poisons Crypto and she wants the poison to make an antidote.
And he's kind of evil just to be evil.
Yes, there's
Like
absolutely no reasoning behind him being a villain besides he's just a dick.
he goes in,
Like,
the big setup to show you how evil Krem is he goes to steal all these weapons from Ruthie's
yes,
family
the swords and
because her
whatnot.
dad is like the goat at
It's making
smithing.
swords. Yes.
And her brother's like gaming on Fortnite. He clutches up, we'll say,
Hmm.
and he looks out, and his sister's sitting there like watching this interaction go down.
Yes.
And he's like, "This is gonna be so funny." He walks over and he goes,
hilarious.
"Ah!"
Boom!
And then Krem throws a fucking axe through his back and just straight kills him.
Straight
on
up
the spot.
kills him for no reason, and then he's like, "All right, well, I gotta kill everybody." And he just kills everybody except for Ruthie. It's a crazy intro, and then like she's just on this revenge kick the rest of the movie, which like understandable motive. I will say the acting sometimes just feels like very 2D, where she's just like not much emotion behind the acting, where she's just like, he killed my family, I have to kill him, and it's like, all right. Like
Yeah.
there's, you're not like sad about it, mad about it. It's just kind of like very stone faced.
I think they were trying to go for like almost like a samurai feel
I
to the
think that's what
character
it was
where it's
meant
like,
to be, but it
yeah. No, I agree. She's like 9 years old.
yes, yes, it just feels very strange. I do think it's funny, because I'm kind of against using like a cute character as the selling point. That Crypto's just not in the movie at all. Like it
Yeah.
is, I'm actually a fan of that because Crypto is so, he was in Superman so much. Not
Right.
even like, you know, he's probably only in that movie for like 30% or
Yeah.
whatever, but still like a lot.
Mhm.
And then they set it up that Crypto was going to be in this one as like a main sidekick, and I'm glad that he isn't, because you can't. I don't think he can do that 2 movies back to back. But do I think he would have made this movie better if he wasn't in Superman? Probably. Again, I wish they chose a direction and stuck with it, where they want to be, this is a funny movie with like maybe a little hint of like a sad story to it, or this is supposed to be a serious movie and there's maybe like 1 or 2 moments where it's like funny and actiony.
Yeah. Instead, they went like full MCU where it's
like 50-50, not even 50-50. It's really just like
it's like it's almost a comedy first. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like really when it comes to it, it's supposed to be the antithesis to Superman. Superman is obviously like a very happy, proud character. You know, he's made to be like a very patriotic, like, you know, pretty much Captain America-esque. Like there some similarities there. And you know, Kara, even before this one, which there are some changes in the movie where I don't think she's supposed to be younger than him, as far as I know. She's supposed to be the older cousin. And then she gets to see Krypton die like twice or multiple times or something like that, instead of
Okay.
just being born on the broken
Mhm.
Krypton and then being sent away. I'm pretty sure she, like, Clark gets sent off. She's there when Krypton collapses, and then she escapes. And then she's also there when Krypton dies to the and then the second Krypton dies to the kryptonite exposure.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's why she's supposed to be like the antithesis, because she's gone through so much more than
Right.
he has. And so that's why she's like a little bit more serious and
Mhm.
whatnot, versus he gets sent, grows up in, you know, Kansas or whatever, and he's just
Right.
like a very, very like happy-go-lucky kind of hero.
Right.
But in parts of this movie, it's hard to even tell the difference.
Yeah.
Like they both had these very like jokey moments in it. And even when she gets back, I mean, there's like the nice, like sweet little moment where she's like, I think I'm staying. I think
Yeah.
I'm staying. But I don't know. It doesn't feel exactly like oh, this character's like over her grief or
Right.
whatever. It kind of just feels the same.
Well, especially considering that they didn't set her grief up very well. Like, I feel like a lot of her, the main thing is like she's weakening her powers that way she can get drunk.
Mhm.
And that's how they try to show you, like, oh, she's so sad, whatever. But also, they try to seemingly like explain it away by like, she's 23, she's living it up. Like, they kind of like
She's a youngin.
make it like that's her excuse or whatever.
Exactly.
But they don't set up any like grieving to make you like not believe her. I guess like she kind
Yeah.
of does just seem like a regular like party girl 23. Like
Just
it's
kind of
like
going through getting hammered.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's fine. Like
It's-
what she's doing, like it's
there's
probably not
nothing wrong with
healthy,
it.
but like whatever.
But what we all went through that, you know what I'm saying?
Like it's
No, it is very strange. You're right with the whole like 23, like she's just partying. It does feel weird that she's, I think, pretty significantly younger in the movie. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly the age gap, but I think it's like 10 years or something like that
Something
between
like
her
that.
and
I
Superman.
can't remember exactly what they said, but
Um,
yeah.
it does feel quite strange. But like there are some serious themes that are in the movie
For
like
sure.
that, like human trafficking, which is good to bring up. And I don't think that was a sour point to the movie at all. In fact, I think it makes it weirder, maybe worse, because they don't take the movie seriously.
Yeah.
When they throw in a theme like that that's kind of heavy, and then they're like, oh yeah, she just like lasers through and saves them all. I guess like I don't know.
Well, there's like this weird point at the end where like the message is kind of like killing somebody won't make you feel
Yes.
any better.
Yes.
And I'm like, I get that. This is like space Jeffrey Epstein. Like,
Yes, this is
like kill this motherfucker. And she does kill him, but it's
she
like
does kill him.
it's like I promise you it would make her feel a little bit better if she killed
Yes.
space Jeffrey Epstein. There's no problem there.
It is very it's such a crazy little story, and this actually goes into the like her grief and getting over that, where again she does tell Ruthie, she's like, you know, killing him won't make it better, it doesn't, like, revenge is not the way, it just makes you feel like hollow on the inside or whatever, which is like that could be a pretty good plot like driving device of like, okay, this is a character who's done these bad things and she knows that it doesn't make you feel better,
Yeah.
versus like a younger character who's just trying to like get over this like crazy amount of things that have happened to her. But then like at the end she's like, okay, you go away, I'm just gonna kill this guy.
Just
I'm
like
gonna
this.
take your sword and just stab it into his neck, and then we're just gonna walk away.
Which he should die.
He should die.
He's
No,
the
I
worst.
agree, but I just
if you want the message of like killing somebody won't make you feel better, like space pedophile
Space
trafficker
pedophile
is
is
not
not
the right
it.
one. Like, yeah, kill that guy. I don't
yeah,
care.
it's
You can go ahead.
it's just strange, really. Like it's such a weird way to set that up. I've used weird like a billion times this this recording
I
because
mean-
that's all I can think of when it comes to this movie. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But that plot point and the whole plot in general is just, I think it's pretty weak. Because yeah, like she stabs him, and if I remember correctly, after she stabs him, there's like a little bit more to it, and then it just fades to black, and it's like the wrap up ending where she's like, I'm gonna stay with my aunt for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they just don't do that anyway. Like she's like, you want to come with and finish my birthday party?
Yeah.
And then they hop in the spaceship or whatever and
Yeah.
fly away, and it's like the end of the movie. One review that I just want to hit on quick is people were hating that she's not actually in the costume for a lot of the movie, and then I saw some people's rebuttal being that like she's not in a male fantasy like female's outfit for the movie because she's just in jeans, a shirt, and a trench coat.
Yeah.
I actually didn't have a problem with that at all. Like the suit didn't matter to me at all. And in fact, I didn't like the scene where she puts it on because it's
No.
so like fakely put in there with absolutely no feeling behind it at all. Besides like, this is a toss out to the fans who remember
Yeah.
what the suit looks like.
I will say, for me personally, I didn't mind the trench coat and jeans fit.
That was
I thought that
fine.
was fine. But I personally am a sucker for any
For the
scene
suits.
where it's like, you better hurry up. I know the scene is bad.
Yes.
From an objective
Yes.
standpoint, it sucked. But there's something in my mind, there's something wrong with me where when it's, well, you better hurry up and kill me then. And then he turns around, she's floating there in the suit.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
like, okay, this is awesome.
It is an awesome scene, but I'm saying the scene where she's in the cave dying.
Oh, yeah, and then she looks
and
at
it's
it.
in front of her, and Ruthie's like, I brought this for you because I
Yeah.
saw it was in your bag or whatever like that. And she's like, it's just a suit. It doesn't mean anything at all. And I guess like I don't remember exactly how it plays out because she's like sitting there dying and she was like she remembers what I think it's her mom that was like just be good. You don't
Yeah.
have to be nice, you don't have to be kind, but be good. And it's like what is the question is like what is good? What does like that mean exactly? Which it's a nice little thing, theme to throw in there. But then randomly, I guess that means that she wants to put on the suit. And
Right.
and then she shows up in the suit. And it is cool. It's a cool scene. Nice to see, Supergirl in the suit, but it's obviously so shoehorned in there. It was like the last 15 minutes of the movie, and they're like, oh shoot, she's not in the suit yet. We gotta make that happen.
Yeah.
And I think, they do that in plenty of other superhero movies and media, but I don't like those ones either. So
Right.
but yeah, the actual scene where she's like, you better kill me now, and then turn around and Supergirl's flying there. It is cool. And then Lobo gets on his motorcycle and he's like riding around, slicing
You
people
go see your
up.
tits.
See your tits, and then he throws a bunch of grenades, flies away. I wanted to bring up how does Ruthie like how is she that skilled at jumping like 15 feet in the air into a vent? Do you remember that
Yeah,
scene?
so it's crazy that they put this girl in the movie. She's like supposed to be this young samurai, and she's for real like playing Among Us and like the evil guy
literally.
shit. Like it's like for real, like that's
Like,
her superpower.
it's
She's Among Us venting.
She's an imposter. Yeah.
She's which is crazy. I get that she's a kid and she's probably like, I'm gonna do my own
I'm gonna
thing.
do my own thing. Yeah.
But it is crazy that it's like Lobo's like, all right, let's do this then. And then she instead imposter vents,
And he's like,
does her own thing.
proud of her.
He's like, that's badass.
That's badass.
He's like, I love that game.
Yeah.
But she
Lobo
imposter
canonically
vents.
plays Among Us.
That's what he was doing in his cell.
He plays Among Us Mobile, of course. Yeah, makes
Uh,
sense.
She vents, and he's like, that's badass. And then they end up there at like the same time anyway. I'm like,
yeah,
you should have like,
probably should
again, like,
I guess.
she's a kid, she's gonna do her own thing, but I'm like, you're just wasting time here, man. Like,
It's just weird, and we're jumping all over the place at this point. But that also brings me back to, wrapping it back to the first point we brought up with the spoiler segment here was Lobo being in it. So he's an immortal, right? He can get hit by like any kind of damage, be fine. There's only one scene that they actually show in this movie where he gets like his intestines cut open. And then he's just like, that's not cool. And that's it. They never show him being like an immortal badass ever again.
no, he just is one. But
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. The movie's filled with like telling you stuff about Lobo.
And then not showing,
not
you
showing it.
anything.
He's this morally gray character who
Bounty
only
hunter
cares about
character
money.
who only
But he
does
actually
stuff
only does
that
good
helps the
things.
main characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, overall, I mean, like I said, 6 out of 10. Pretty nothing burger. Might go a little
It's
bit
a
lower than that,
fine
might go
movie.
up. But if you're interested in Supergirl as a character, I mean, go ahead. It's only the second movie of the DCU, so it'll probably get better from here if I had to guess. And who knows? Maybe after a couple movies, like with her in it, because I think she's set to be in. Is it Superman? Is it literally just Superman Man of Tomorrow? Is that the next one? I can't remember what the headline for the next Superman movie coming out is, but I believe she's slated to be in that one as well. And maybe that will this all will be amazing setup.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, just like all superhero movies, this review doesn't matter at all.
It literally
It's all
doesn't
slop.
matter. It's
If you like Supergirl, like
watch the
you know,
movie.
you already know if you should watch it. If you're
Yes.
interested in it, you should watch it. If you're not, then don't watch it. Like
Exactly.
this does not matter.
So we look at the camera and we go.
Is Super I Hardly Know Her even good though? Is
No,
that good
I mean,
enough for the intro?
It's kind of like a throwaway,
It
a
is kinda
throwaway
like a
joke,
throwaway.
I think. But
So we could do
Yes.
looking at the camera pose, looking at the camera not posed,
true.
looking at you super, like as if I'm telling
Yeah,
you
like-
the bit.
Yeah.
You know, we could do multiple. Super, I hardly know her. Well, you don't have to.
Like this.
Is this our next? Super, I hardly know her.